Notes on the Old Testament according to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We start today with 1 Samuel 1. A spouse is often not enough. In general, do what seems good unto you. Some children should be given to spiritual training. 1 Samuel 2. In Judeo-Christian law, the offering performer gets a 3-hooked pole from the simmering sacrifice. You know, when it's an animal sacrifice. 1 Samuel 3. Sometimes the vision comes to those who are not the spiritual leaders. 1 Samuel 4. When the Hebrews filled the air with the yells at their box of gold showing up, the other tribes were afraid, but still effected a mighty victory. 1 Samuel 5. The golden box didn't get along with the Dagon cult objects. 1 Samuel 6. There were procedures for using the Ark of the Covenant, which they didn't know, and returned it with the representation of their tribes as offerings. You know, the non-Israelite tribes. 1 Samuel 7. Some will be better at fasting, praying, and making offerings than others, but all must act towards victory. 1 Samuel 8. People who take bribes will support monarchy and will cost people a more spiritual society. 1 Samuel 9. Prophets were called by different terms. People are to follow the priests in the rituals. 1 Samuel 10. At times, prophets formed collectives that did group ritual. 1 Samuel 11. If you want peace, don't hunt the survivors of battle and celebrate the end of the war with worship. So we have a don't and a do. 1 Samuel 12. Call people to affirm your mission at its end and confirm the incoming Messiah. You know, we need to remember that the Bible had a series of Messiahs. 1 Samuel 13. When the people are with the enemies in culture, it may not be a favored time to go to war with outside enemies, and unauthorized sacrifices will not fix things. One of the things that comes up in different parts of the Bible is this: you can't just make offerings and give charity and all that other stuff to replace the idea that you're not doing what's right. 1 Samuel 14. Dietary and other seemingly mundane violations are against divinity. It is important to know of obligations you may not have heard of. 1 Samuel 15. If something is not for you to keep, it is not a fitting sacrifice. 1 Samuel 16. Don't worry over the fallen. Better can ascend to their place. Choose reasons that are beyond the physical. Music can repel or change spirits. It says that evil spirit from God, which is a odd accusation, right? 1 Samuel 17. People often had pre-battle skirmishes. David won against a Goliath, and then those who cursed by different ones, taken to be gods, were defeated in battle. 1 Samuel 18. Setting someone up to be killed is still attempting to murder them. 1 Samuel 19. Saul is said to have gotten naked in the school of the prophets to speak as one having prophetic authority after further trying to have David killed. And, well, different types of entities call their prophets, right? 1 Samuel 20. The day starts in the evening, and the month starts with the seeing of the waxing moon. Jonathan and David made a compact to subversively side against his enemies. 1 Samuel 21. Ritual bread may become common, and common items become sanctified. Some will fake being crazy to protect themselves from government. And I have witnessed that here. 1 Samuel 22. Recruit those wronged by society. Saul went to killing even priests who sided with David. 1 Samuel 23. Even a divided nation needs to deal with their mutual enemies and use the means for spiritual guidance. 1 Samuel 24. Attacks on the righteous are as attacks against the consecration of God. 1 Samuel 25. Not everyone can afford hospitality. Some wives will be labeled as blessed for differing from their husbands. But is that the case of those who betray their husbands by insult and hastening their death to marry another? Because that's how it's presented in the verse. And again, recently I've witnessed of somebody that did that, and I heard them on the phone talking about how they were hastening the death of somebody. 1 Samuel 26. If people turn against religion, it is fine to take political sides against them, but refrain actions against spiritual superiors. 1 Samuel 27. It is better to live among foreigners than compatriots that lie against and despise you. 1 Samuel 28. Behavior can shut off further guidance. Truth can come through in wrongful ways, but some can reform thereby. 1 Samuel 29. Palestinians had the dignity to spare the Israelis, and by that I don't mean these 97.5% non-Semitic Jews that have came invading from the north, but the ancient ones who didn't show themselves to be enemies of them. And that continues to be the thing, is that the Palestinian side isn't against some mere ancestry or religion. Of course, recently most of the Jews have been killed by the Israeli side in some areas, like Gaza. 1 Samuel 30, the fifth columnist will be routed, and it will enable the conquering of people. 1 Samuel 31, the Israelites may be conquered and disgraced if they allow themselves to be led by those who would commit suicide. A 7 days fast may be in mourning of defeat. And